Hey everyone, I'm Bradley and welcome to Zlangle. This is my second video about Spider-Man Far From Home because, well, it's obvious. Mysterio is just that awesome.
Hey Stan! Call the ESU! Let them know the hardware for the new computer department arrived! Behold! I am Mysterio!
Are we being punked? I hate that.
But in this one, full-on spoiler warning. Even the title I was afraid might be a bit too spoilery, but I think it's just vague enough, and most people who care have hopefully seen it already. So, you guys might not know, but Mysterio actually might be my favorite supervillain except for the Joker. Man, 2019's a good year. So, suffice it to say, when they not only announced that Mysterio would be the main villain in the next Spider-Man film, coming out after Avengers 4, but that it would be played by Jake Gyllenhaal, I was incredibly excited. It was a dream that I never thought I would see, a full-on Mysterio movie with a green suit, the purple cape, and the fishbowl head, with an Academy Award-nominated actor. However, there was one problem, both with the film and the marketing leading up to its release. They portrayed Mysterio as a good guy, as an ally to Peter Parker, as opposed to the straight-up villain of the movie. And the problem with that is that there were two possible situations. One, they actually changed his character from the comics, and he truly is a superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, Kevin Feige and John Watts decided to fundamentally alter Quentin Beck's DNA as a lying, conniving, trickstery villain that can't be trusted, to an epic superhero from another universe that's hunting down the elementals with the help of Spidey and Nick Fury. That was one possibility. The other is that Mysterio, the elementals, and the entirety of Quentin Beck's story and motivation in the film is bullshit. And that probably encompasses most of the fan theories by the comic book fans who know the history and character of Mysterio better than the average person.
You're coming with us.
I don't think Quentin Beck is from it. He's a liar. Don't believe him, kids. But I know Quentin Beck. Quentin Beck's a liar. He's an actor. Something tells me he's not from another world. I don't think he is from some other place. I think he's horseshitting. And there's no way that they're just friends. He's got to be the fucking bad guy, this bitch.
So, how was Kevin Feige, John Watts the director, and the writers going to surprise an audience of fans who already expected that Quentin was lying to everyone? Well, by doing what they did. First, they did a fantastic job in the marketing, at making this film look really fun and exciting, and yet giving almost nothing away about the plot or motivations of the characters. That's key, because it caused even me to start second-guessing whether or not Mysterio was a villain. I remember at the time of the trailer coming out, someone who likes watching these types of movies but didn't know anything about the source material had asked me who Jake Gyllenhaal was playing. And besides saying his name was Mysterio, I couldn't tell if explaining he was a popular Spider-Man villain was a spoiler for the film or not. But now let's look at the movie itself. Once it started, I kept a watchful eye out for anything that could be seen as suspicious or underhanded whenever Beck was on screen. And for the most part, I saw nothing until the reveal. Except for what seemed like a couple of moments where it felt like the director was intentionally leading me toward the possibility of Beck's betrayal. Like a certain shot where Spider-Man is leaving the room and the camera holds on Quentin looking at Peter, almost ominously in the background while he's walking away. Now, maybe I was just looking too much into it and it didn't mean anything, because even after that scene, everything else with Mysterio and Peter together was really sincere, so I brushed it aside as my imagination. One more thing was Dimitri. That big guy that worked for either Nick Fury, Mysterio, or both. He seemed pretty intimidating for someone who was trying to help save the world, but again, I chalked up his look to being a setup for that visual gag where he's standing there with the sign at the field trip bus. And of course, he most likely does work for Nick Fury, as opposed to Beck, because we never saw him later as one of Beck's conspirators. So since we trust Nick Fury, it made the audience trust Dimitri to an extent. All this is to say, they made Mysterio's character very vague in the marketing, and made him seem sincere and honest in the film, but not too much so that it didn't seem obvious he would turn, like Lotso the pink bear from Toy Story 3, where he was a bit too welcoming and hospitable, so that his betrayal was a bit over-foreshadowed, at least to me.
If you'll excuse us, we'd best be heading back. Welcome to Sunnyside, folks. Chew on that when you're at the dump.
I will say though, the only hint I saw that pointed toward Mysterio possibly fabricating his whole story was when he said this.
There are multiple realities, Peter. This is Earth, Dimension 616. I'm from Earth 833. We share identical physical constants, level 4 symmetry.
I'm sorry, you're saying there's a multiverse?
The second I heard that, I thought, well, he better be lying about that. Because as some of you might already know, Earth 616 is the universe that Stan Lee started back in 1961, and that most of the events in the comic books all take place. So the problem with what Beck just said is that Peter's universe isn't 616. It's actually Earth 199999, the designated universe numbering for the events within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So truth be told, I would be pretty disgruntled as a fan if it turned out Quentin was in fact an interdimensional traveler who said the MCU was Earth 616. And I believe it's possible that Sony could have screwed that up, especially after the whole Spider-Man Homecoming 8 years later debacle. But thankfully, I was correct, Mysterio was a big fat liar, Sony didn't screw up the multiverse, and everything played out beautifully. It would have been very easy to make Mysterio an obvious villain from the beginning, or give away too much in the trailers and spoil it. But I'm glad they took the time and the effort to keep his true motivations and plans under wraps until the big reveal scene. It made it that much more impactful, even if fans have been assuming he would be an antagonist since they first announced him. As someone who obviously knew him pretty well, they kept me guessing all the way through. And then ending with an incredible third act that had everything I had ever wanted in a Mysterio film and more. So honestly, I was pretty satisfied overall. And if you want a more detailed review of my thoughts on the movie itself, check out my other Far From Home video. So guys, that's my take on Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. What did you think about him? Let me know in the comments. Did it keep you guessing also, or were you certain since the beginning? Thanks for watching everyone, until next time, nuff said, and Excelsior.
You know when you put your tongue on the side of the ship and it sticks there? I hate when I do that. Just saying.
Behold, Denike dietum efficacem in